A few months ago, I made a video on my main channel titled Why Do Motorcycle Video Games Suck? I talked about the bad physics, the weird controls, the lifeless riding, and about how motorcycle video games never tend to get the motorcycles right. And somehow, I missed the one game that actually gets it right. How's it going, everybody? It's Dan, and this is my gaming channel, and today we're talking about the game Days Gone, an open-world zombie survival game where you play as Deacon St. John, a former outlaw biker trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic Oregon after a virus turns most of humanity into zombies. Throughout the game, you travel between survivor camps, defeat raiders, do jobs and side quests, battle infected wildlife, and take on massive hordes containing hundreds of zombies. On paper, it sounds like this game was made specifically for me. It has motorcycles, it has zombies, open world, survival mechanics, and for some reason, I completely skipped it. There's basically 5 main factions in this game, if you can call them factions. First of all, you have the good guys. These are people living in different survivor camps around the map. You complete missions for them, earn their trust, buy supplies, and you slowly build a relationship between each camp. Then you have the bad guys, the raiders, the marauders. They're basically regular survivors like you, except they're willing to kill and rob and steal in order to survive, which is completely different than what you do, right? Obviously. If this were The Walking Dead, they'd basically be like the Negan group, while your group is more of like the Rick Grimes group. You know, we're good guys, right? You know? Then there's the other bad guys, the Rippers. The Rippers are like a strange cult that kills and tortures and eats people, mutilate themselves, they worship the Freakers. The first time you meet them, they seem completely uncivilized in any capacity, like completely insane, no motivation, no moral compass. Then as the story progresses, you realize that they worship this dude named Carlos. Fucking Carlos? Turns out Carlos has a weird backstory with Deacon and your homie Boozer. The whole thing gets really weird, really fast. And then you have the other bad guys, which is obviously the zombies. The game calls them Freakers, which is just like, I always found that series that won't refer to zombies as zombies is kind of annoying, but whatever. From Freakers? How come every zombie game or TV show or movie is afraid to just call them zombies? I've never understood that disconnect. Like 90% of the zombies that you fight in the game are your standard runners. They're fast, they're aggressive, relatively easy to kill individually, but they become overwhelming when there's hundreds of them chasing you, obviously. And then you have your specials too, like your breakers, those are like your Hulk-style zombies. Screamers, you know, they yell, they attract more zombies. And then you have your reachers, who are basically just like super enhanced zombies. They're faster, they're stronger. And, fuck those guys, by the way, that sucks. Those guys, I hate them. Then there's also the newts, which are basically children zombies. Wait till you meet the zombie... There's zombie kids? There's literally zombie kids in this game? Oh, wait. Wait, what the fuck? Those are zombie kids. You're not wrong, those are kids. Oh, fuck, I regret this. Oh, they're kids, holy shit. Funny as hell. Ah! Ah! Stab the child! Stab the child! Dude, this game is fucking actually crazy. That was a shock to me. This is the first game that's ever let me kill children. Maybe lets you isn't the best way to describe that, but nevertheless, you know what I mean? By the way, I've never been a fan of like the special zombies, you know? I'm a classic guy. I like the old school Shambler zombies. I'll even accept the runner style zombies too, but like for the most part, I'm just a basic zombies fan. But the game introduces these in a really natural way and it doesn't feel overused. It actually feels pretty good. I'll give them that. And then finally, you have the animals. I do think that these guys deserve their own class or faction because there's just so many ones that try to kill you throughout the game. There's wolves, there's cougars, there's bears, and deer. Do I hear that bear? Oh my fuck! Ah! Ah! I'm getting mauled by a bear! And yeah, the deer are trying to kill you. They're constantly running out in front of you trying to knock you off your fucking motorcycle. Boom! Dude, I'm bringing a deer home with me. Guys, I got a deer. I'm bringing it home with me. We're gonna eat good for a year. Chat, we got the deer.
St. John out.
It's like I'm just trying to go. Why are there deer in my way? And then there are zombie versions of those animals too. Zombie wolves, zombie bears, and even zombie crows that are called criers. These guys are fucking miserable on their own to fight. I don't know who in this world thought that needed to be flying zombies, but there is a extra big parking spot for you in hell. But with all that going on, I don't know how I never gave this game a chance. Especially because one of the biggest parts of this game is the motorcycle, and that's like me. That's what I'm known for. I'm known for bikes. Do Dan. And I've played a lot of motorcycle racing games and just games in general that have motorcycles over the years, and truly Days Gone is the only one that has seemed to get it right. It isn't a motorcycle simulator, it doesn't worry about getting all the physics properly correct, which is absolutely a good thing, and I lend it credit for that. Sometimes games become so hyper-focused on the small details and getting the physics right that it ruins the fun of the game. They forget to make the motorcycles enjoyable, and the motorcycles in Days Gone sit in a perfect middle ground in my opinion. It feels heavy enough to feel like a real motorcycle, but it's still responsive and forgiving enough to have fun. Sliding the rear tire around the corner feels really satisfying. And even the awkward parts of riding feel surprisingly accurate. Making small maneuvers inside the tunnels can be clumsy. Turning the bike around in a tight area feels awkward. Anybody who's moved big, heavy motorcycles around at a low speed knows exactly what I'm talking about. It also gets the ownership side of the game right. You have to maintain the motorcycle, repair it when it breaks, fill it with gas, modify it to make it better for your journey, upgrade the engine, the fuel tank, the tires, the suspension, the saddlebags, and you can even customize the appearance. That's pretty cool. I like that. The bike starts out slow and weak and on the verge of constantly running out of fuel, but by the end of the game, your motorcycle becomes more than just transportation. It becomes one of the most important tools that you have. It carries your ammunition, you save your game from it. It gets you away from hordes. It also regularly gets knocked over by wolves while you're trying to escape. No, Days Gone is not a simulator and it's far from it, but it understands motorcycles better than a lot of the games that are specifically about motorcycles, which makes it even more surprising that I almost gave the game up in just a few hours of playing, because the beginning of the game is a drag. It reminded me of the opening hours of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I love Red Dead Redemption 2, which I just recently played. If you want to check that out, I have a playlist in the description. But that's a game that takes forever before you can actually play it, and Days Gone has a very similar problem. At the beginning of the game, every fight feels dangerous. Your stamina runs out almost immediately, you take massive damage, you barely have any ammunition, your weapons are terrible, your motorcycles are slow, your fuel tank is tiny, you got no drip, you got no bitch. I mean, it sucks. And at the same time, you're also learning crafting, repairing, stealth, camps, trust levels, bounties, skills, bike upgrades, weapon lockers, freaker nests, and a dozen other systems at the same time. It is a lot more in depth than I was expecting, which isn't a bad thing, but if not done correctly, it can be. It's one of the main reasons why I never finished Hogwarts Legacy. There was just so much shit to do. I got overwhelmed and moved on. In the beginning of Days Gone, I remember fighting 3 or 4 zombies at a time and being completely overwhelmed.
Whack! 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 Oh, dude, it takes a lot to kill him via melee. Holy crap. Holy crap, they take a lot of damage. That took like 6 or 7 hits. Okay. That takes a lot. And there is a lot of zombies. Uh-oh. Okay, wait a minute, let's think about this. Holy shit. Do I get stronger over time, or is it really going to be like they do like 50 damage per hit? That's insane.
Then I would see footage online of people fighting massive hordes, and I would wonder, how was I even supposed to handle that? I was 4 hours into the game before I even realized that you could upgrade Deacon.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Look at that. Unlock your first skill. 4 hours into the game officially, by the way.
Which does say more about me as a gamer than it does the game. That skill issue. Still, early on the game throws a lot of information at you without really trying to clarify about what the most important stuff is. And it does take several hours before the game starts to open up. And once it does, everything begins to make sense. You unlock better skills, you find better weapons, your stamina improves, your motorcycle gets faster, you learn how to kite the crowds, and then at some point, the game completely hooks you.
Here we go, baby! Time to show them the coat hanger special. Holy shit, call me Planned Parenthood the way I'm aborting these kids.
The world itself is huge for that reason. Days Gone absolutely nails the atmosphere. The scenery is beautiful. You ride through forests, snowy mountains, abandoned towns, tunnels, farms, highways, and even though that I was playing through the original version and not the remastered, I was still completely blown away by how good the game looked. The survivors at each camp also felt surprisingly believable. The workers at the stores have their own dialogue with Deacon. The mechanic knows you, the weapons dealer knows you, they comment on things that have happened during the story, and yeah, sure, some of the conversations repeat, but most of them flow naturally throughout the camps that it feels like actual communities and not just a person with an inventory and a menu. And the riding in between camps stays enjoyable. The map is fairly fairly large. And the game even has its own built-in fast travel system, which is super convenient and easy. But I almost never used it, and part of that is because riding the motorcycles feels so good. And the other reason is that there's always something happening on the road. You might find a survivor that you need to save, you might get ambushed by raiders, a wolf might knock you off your bike, you might ride into a horde, and because of that, traveling across the map never feels entirely safe. That unpredictability makes riding feel like a part of the game instead of something that you would just skip. The gunplay is also better than I expected. Like, zombie games have to find the right balance between realism and fun. If the ammunition is too limited and every gun is difficult to use, fighting hundreds of zombies becomes frustrating. If the weapons are too powerful, the zombies stop feeling dangerous. And in my opinion, Days Gone finds the perfect middle ground. The guns have enough recoil and weight to feel satisfying, but they're still arcade-like enough to handle large groups. Plus, the sounds are fantastic. And the MG55, my god. I've had wet dreams about the cyclical rate of this gun. I mean, just listen to it chug. Oh. Come. And even after unlocking everything, the game never makes you feel completely unstoppable, which is especially true when dealing with large hordes. The hordes are easily the best part of Days Gone. I genuinely think that this game has the best zombie horde physics out of any game I've ever played. They move like almost one giant liquid creature, pouring through doorways, spilling over walls. Games like World War Z do have a similar zombie-like physic, but I think Days Gone just does it better because the hordes exist inside the open world. They aren't always locked inside some sort of special mission. You can just be riding through the woods and come across one, or stumble into a cave and realize way too late that you were completely fucked.
Fuck! What the fuck? What the fuck? Holy shit.
This way?
Dude, I hate this game. I hate this game. What the fuck?
The game also uses music around them perfectly. When a horde is nearby, this ominous soundtrack starts playing. Sometimes you don't even know where the zombies are yet. You just hear the music and immediately know something is wrong. And at this point, I've killed every horde in the game. I have roughly around 80 hours of playtime. I have more than enough upgrades and ammo to sustain a small army. But when I hear that music, it still makes my stomach sink. Even when you're fully prepared, a large horde can become overwhelming in seconds. And the fact that the horde still remains stressful even after you've upgraded everything is one of the game's biggest accomplishments. And while in my opinion Days Gone does a lot of things extremely well, it's not perfect. The voice acting can be strange. It isn't Bethesda level terrible, but there are definitely moments where it feels like a low budget film.
How do you like that, huh? Being ambushed, you like that?
This'll do you good out there. Thanks. Find me if you need anything else. I'll see you later, man.
And Deacon's personality is all over the place. Sometimes he's a calm, intimidating former Marine and outlaw biker. Other times he appears completely incapable of rational thought. This usually happens when his wife becomes involved. He will make completely good and rational decisions for like 4 hours straight and then lose all intelligence when Sarah comes into play. And most of the supporting characters are fine. A lot of them are just kind of there.
Okay.
Joe.
Been busy, huh? Oh, that's all, huh? You stay whole out there, man.
Hey, Deacon.
Buzz.
One of the more likable characters in this game, and in any game in my opinion, is Taylor.
Nah, man, name's Wade. Wade Taylor. You can call me Wade.
Deacon St. John.
Holy shit. Deacon St. John. Is your old man a preacher or something?
No.
Man, that is a hell of a name. This is some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I've never associated with a video game character like I have with this guy before, but sometimes when I was talking to him in game, I was like, damn, I know someone just like this IRL.
What's going on with you, man? You got some saddle sores or something? Need a doc to lube you all up?
How's the ear?
Then there is Boozer, which is Deacon's best friend. Boozer is both at the same time the best and the worst friend in video game history. Deacon spends most of the game trying to save Boozer's life, while Boozer spends most of the game trying to figure out new ways to get himself killed. No joke, he seriously tries to kill himself like 4 times in this game, and you have to save him over and over again. That gets kind of exhausting, especially after you just saved him.
What are you doing?
Figured I'd take this bag of explosives down there and ask him if they didn't mind us, blowing him the fuck up.
Boozer.
Despite that, most of the character writing is actually pretty good. Most conversations feel natural, or like things that you would say to a friend.
Is this your ride?
It's a piece of shit. but it runs.
I gotta go, man. They're checking me for lice or some shit.
That's right. How you doing there, Loser? You doing all right?
Just PG.
There are biker cliches, but they're not constantly shouting, brother, and freedom, and we gotta hit the road, brother. I mean, they do talk about riding in the open road a lot, but it's a biker game, dude. What can you do? My next complaint is really small, but the transition between cutscenes irritated me. The cutscenes themselves are fine or whatever. The problem is the constant fading in and fading out in between cutscenes. Sometimes you'll have several short cutscenes back to back in the game, and then it'll fade into a cutscene and then fade out and then fade in and fade out. Someone says 2 sentences, fade in, fade out, fades back in, and they're in the exact same place that they were 2 seconds ago. It's like, why was there the separation? It feels like someone's first day using Windows Movie Maker and they just figured out the fade transition and they're just putting it in everywhere. It's a small complaint that probably only bothers me, but it bothered me. The sound direction can be strange also. The audio quality is great, the sounds are really good, all that's fine, but sometimes I would hear sounds behind me and it would be the person or the zombie right in front of me, and I'm sure it's just an audio setting that I'm not getting right. I explored all the options, but still, I was constantly looking behind me only to find that the person I was talking to or the zombie was right in front of me the whole time. I mean, the sound design is still slightly better than Rainbow Six Siege, but that's setting the bar super low. None of these issues ruin the game for me in any capacity, but it did keep the game from being perfect in my eyes. The strange thing is that there's so many more positive things that I could list off. The crafting is very simple but useful. The progression feels rewarding. The weapons improve noticeably. The motorcycle upgrades matter. I mean, it's a great package. I could keep listing all the things that I like about this game, but then that's what the video would be. Just me listing off things that I like about this game, which is most of the mechanics. It's just that Days Gone is one of the most surprising games that I've played in probably the past decade. I did go into it with relatively low expectations. Maybe a decent open world zombie game with a motorcycle thrown into it. Instead, I found one of the best motorcycle games I've ever played, as well as one of the best zombie games I've ever played. Which is hilarious because it's not technically a motorcycle game, it's just a game with a motorcycle in it. It did have a difficult beginning. It took me several hours for me to understand why people love playing this game, but when it finally clicked, I couldn't stop playing. Now I've spent almost 80 hours in the game, completed the story, killed every horde, upgraded pretty much everything, and I still find myself logging back in to go do random stuff. And the only reason I knew about this game and why to play it is because someone in my Twitch chat recommended it to me. And by the way, I stream almost every day besides Mondays on both YouTube and Twitch. You know, consider giving your boy a like, a follow, and a subscribe. Appreciate you. You know, maybe the game's original reputation pushed me away from it. Maybe it simply got buried by bigger releases when it came out. Whatever happened, I'm glad that I finally got a chance to play the game. It isn't perfect, but is absolutely worth the experience. Listen, I'm no game journalist. I'm certainly not a game critic or a reviewer by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm gonna give this game a 9 out of 10. And thank you for checking out my video. Now, while I got your attention, I want to say a few things. First of all, if you've been subscribed to this channel and you've noticed that I haven't posted a video in like 2 years, I've really let this channel sit on the back burner. I got really busy for a short period of time with my other channel and my business, and I didn't have time to pay attention to this page like I wanted to. But now, I've got the channel monetized up again, and I'm back up to creating content. I'm streaming on here literally pretty much every day of the week. Sometimes I skip a day, but pretty much every day besides Mondays. Trying to get more video game content that's not just like me streaming video games as well. I want to make content like this, where I talk about games. Especially if a game has, like, grabbed me the way this game did. Because I've thought about this game almost non-stop every day since I completed it, like over a month ago. So if you like this style of content, make sure to leave a comment or a like so I know that you'd like to see more stuff like this. I'll be doing more in-depth stuff, and like as the channel continues to grow, I can put more and more time into the videos that I put out here, and more time in the live streams, and the content just continues to get better. And also, we often have polls in our Discord, which there's a link for in the description as well, where you can kind of help choose the next game. I believe the next game up is GTA Vice City to play through. We just did Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5, now GTA Vice City, but I think I'm also doing Farming Simulator because my chat's a bunch of dickheads that makes me play games that I don't want to play. Anyway, that's not your problem. I just want to say thanks for watching, and continue subscribing if you haven't already. Maybe leave a like and a comment. That's it. Anyways, I'm your boy Dan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, alright? Bye.